guys, this is Crimson.
And this is Swan.
Season 3 is here.
And we'd love to know what you think of the stories.
Even if it's bad.
So leave us a comment.
Or give us a thumbs up.
Thank you.
With this key, you unlock the world to your dreams. What lies beyond could be the doorway to nightmare. Come in. Welcome. I'm your host through the doorway to nightmare. P.D. James once said that what the detective story is about is not murder, but the restoration of order.
This isn't good, Alex. And it's too much of a coincidence.
I agree, Sydney, and I know that you do not believe in coincidence.
What have you learned from the autopsy report?
Oh, only that Trisha Adams was killed with a serrated knife, about 8 inches in length.
That can't be right.
Oh, the coroner did a thorough job.
I read the police report that Tony did. According to him, Carlton was found with a knife, which was what convicted him.
So what's your point?
It was an ordinary kitchen knife, like a paring knife. Single blade, not serrated, and certainly not 8 inches long.
Our mystery drama, The Conclusion of The Casebook of Sidney Chase, FERRARO'S Favor, was written especially for Doorway to Nightmare by Winslow Swan and Crimson McKenzie, and stars Crimson McKenzie and Winslow Swan. It is sponsored in part by Swanage Press. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. Sidney Chase, once a homicide detective and now a private investigator, was asked by her former lieutenant, Anthony Ferraro, to look into an old case. Ferraro was worried that he had possibly sent the wrong man to death row. Her friend, Alex McDougall, should take up the story from here.
The convicted man was Carlton Baggins, who was sent to death row for the brutal murder of his wife, Trisha Adams. He always had proclaimed his innocence, and 3 days before his said execution, Ferraro came to Sydney for help. Then Carlton's sister, Eve Chesser, hired Sydney to also look into the case. She told Sydney that Ferraro was having an affair with Trisha. When Sydney confronted him with this, he told her that Trisha was his informant, that she was dating a detective named Alan Simmons, who had been investigated by Internal Affairs for running a drug operation and providing protection. Naturally, Sydney had a plan to try and find out what she could from Alan Simmons. Unfortunately, this resulted in the death of Baggins' sister, Eve Chesser.
I really messed up, Alex.
Oh, Sydney, it's not your fault. You had no idea that Eve would be murdered.
I pushed Simmons too hard. I was acting like a first-rate rookie.
Now quit being so hard on yourself. Let's go over this case file and see what we can find.
I talked with Tony this morning about getting the files or anything that he may have on Alan Simmons. He said that most of the investigation was sealed, but that he would see what he could do.
I hate to say this, but it doesn't look like much hope for Mr. Baggins. According to his statement, he came home, found his wife on the floor, and was hit in the back of the head. When he came to, He was in custody.
And there was no sign of any bruise or bump on his head.
Yes, well, there are ways to knock a person unconscious without leaving a mark.
I know. I looked it up on Google, Mr. McGoogle.
Sydney, do you want my help or not?
I'm only kidding, Alex. Okay, so let's assume that Baggins was set up. The question is why.
Ferraro did tell you that Tricia was dating Alan Simmons, and she approached him about evidence against Alan. Perhaps Alan discovered what was going on.
But why kill her? He could have just stopped seeing her.
Well, maybe she already had the evidence that she needed.
Possible. Did you find anything in the autopsy report?
Only the victim was stabbed multiple times with a large serrated knife, around 8 inches long.
Wait a minute. Let me see that.
Did you find something?
When they arrested Baggins, he was holding a knife. Where did I read? Here. It was a small carving knife that he had. Not a serrated and definitely not 8 inches long.
Now, how could Ferraro have missed that?
Ferrari? Who jumps to a conclusion faster than a Ferrari going from 0 to 60? Come on.
Sydney, I know that look in your eye. Now what?
Well, I think that I've actually seen that knife. I'm going to run down to the ME's office. Want to come?
Oh, I think that I shall wait here. I've seen enough corpses in my career.
Suit yourself.
Sydney! 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 Are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
My God, what happened?
I opened the door and saw a flash. I jumped and 2 bullets ricocheted off the door jamb.
Did you see anyone?
No, but I saw the car.
Did you at least get a license number off the plate?
I didn't need to. I'd recognize that old car anywhere. It was Anthony Ferraro's car.
Is Sydney Chase getting closer to the truth? Alex examines his friend to make sure that she is not hurt, while the anger inside of her grows. I'll be back shortly with Act 2. Sydney Chase has just been shot at, and while she has not been hit, her anger grows. She recognized the car where her would-be assassin fired as that of Lieutenant Anthony Ferraro.
Shouldn't you be somewhere?
Where were you this afternoon?
Now, where do you think I was?
Answer the question, Ferraro.
I was sitting at my desk, going over an endless supply of reports, and trying very hard not to think that I've sent an innocent man to the gas chamber.
They use the needle now.
Baggins will be just as dead either way.
So you haven't left the office at all today?
Would you like the other half of the ham sandwich I brought from home?
Who has access to your car then?
No one. Look, Sydney, where is this going?
Could someone have taken your car today?
Who would want to take my car?
Tony! Someone took a shot at me and they were driving your car.
Here's my gun. I haven't fired it in over a month.
I believe you, but who would try to take me out?
Same one that wants Baggins to die.
Any leads on Eve's murder?
Not yet. Coroner says that she was stabbed at least 60 times. Whoever killed her was extremely mad at her.
Okay, another question. Did Tricia give you any hint that she might have some sort of evidence against Alan Simmons?
Not really. Oh, she did call me the day before her murder and said that she was really close, but other than that, she didn't have anything.
Well. If it isn't, well, let me guess. Oh, yes, Scarlett. Or should I say, Sydney Chase.
Do I know you?
Really? We're really going to play that game? Fine. I'm Detective Alan Simmons.
Sydney Chase, private investigator.
So, what did you and the lieutenant have to talk about?
Oh, didn't you know? He's taking me to Las Vegas this weekend. He has a bit of a thing for me.
I could see why.
Is there anything I can do for you, Detective?
It's Simmons. No, nothing really. But I would like to give you some friendly advice.
Ooh, my. What a gentleman you are. And what advice should I take?
Baggins killed his wife. He's gonna be executed for it. Leave it alone.
Who said that I was even looking into it?
I'm serious, Chase. Leave it alone, or you may find yourself on the wrong end of a knife.
Speaking of knives, you have a very interesting one. Serrated with a handle that has ruby inlays. Quite unique.
What's that got to do with anything?
Oh, just an observation. Alex? Are you here?
Yes, Sydney, I'm here.
Aw, you look like you just lost your best friend.
In a way, I believe that I have.
What's going on?
Have you heard the news?
About what?
They just arrested Anthony Ferraro for the murder of Eve Chesser.
What? But I just left his office.
It was on the news just before you came in.
Did they say where they were taking him?
I'm assuming to county.
Come on, Alex, let's go. Well, I wouldn't call it the Ritz, but at least you get 3 hots in a cot.
Only 2 hots. The city cut the budget again. And how were you able to get in to see me?
One of the guards is a lovely friend.
What?
It's best if you don't ask, Ferraro.
Fine, Sydney. I swear that I did not kill Eve Chesser.
Did they say what evidence they had?
Sure. A few bloodstains in my home and a knife with Chesser's blood all over it in the trunk of my car.
Was that all?
Isn't that enough?
Where is your car now?
I'm guessing the impound yard.
I really need to get a look at your trunk.
Got a friend working there as well?
I told you it was best if you didn't ask.
Sydney, please, you've got to help me.
I'll do what I can. Hold the light steady, will you, Alex?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you knew someone that works here.
I had to tell Ferrari something, didn't I?
I'm getting too old to be climbing over fences and searching the trunks of cars in the dead of night.
Just hold the light steady.
I'm freezing! Besides, isn't what we are doing a felony? Won't the cameras catch us?
You heard Ferrari? The city cut the budget. A friend told me that they couldn't afford to upgrade security here. Most of the cameras don't work anyway. Ah! Here it is!
What is it?
The evidence is gonna save Baggins from the needle and get Ferrari out of jail! I hope.
Sydney smiles at Alex, who looks more perplexed than usual. The detective and the doctor make their way back to Sydney's apartment. I hope that you will make your way back here when I return with Act 3. Sydney Chase, after hearing about the arrest of Lieutenant Ferraro, checks where a vital piece of evidence was found in the good lieutenant's car. With a smile, she picks up the phone and dials police headquarters.
"14th Precinct, Detective Simmons speaking."
Why, Alan! I wasn't expecting you to answer the phone. Demoted to switchboard now.
Miss Chase, to what do I owe the honor of hearing your angelic voice?
Oh, I think I have something that you would be very interested in.
And what is that?
Well, I happen to find something that belongs to you. Or, well, your knife anyway.
What about my knife?
Oh, you know the one. The serrated edge knife with the ruby inlays that I believe is missing 1 stone. I found it, and you'll never guess where. Do I have your attention now?
What do you want?
I think about $10,000 would be sufficient.
I don't think I have.
You've been getting protection money for a long time, Simmons. I think that you could dip into your early retirement fund.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fine. I can just take this to the DA and we will see.
No, wait. All right. I'll be at your place in an hour.
Make it 2. I want to get all dolled up for the great Detective Simmons. You really liked Scarlett, didn't you?
See you in an hour.
Sydney, are you positive he will be here?
Well, not positive. Pretty sure though.
Only pretty sure?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of an educated guess.
An educated guess?
Okay, a calculated risk?
Sydney, this man has already killed 2 women and framed 2 different men. Do you actually think he would have second thoughts about doing the same to you?
Alex, don't worry.
Besides, I'm too old to be framed for your murder.
Promise it won't come to that. Now, make sure you have the camera turned on.
I have them running now.
Right on time. I love it when a killer is punctual. Get in the bedroom and be ready to call the cavalry if I am wrong. Detective Simmons, please do come in.
All right, Chase. What do you think that you have that is going to cost me 10 grand?
You got the money?
Right here. Count it if you want to.
I don't think we have to do that. Why don't we have a drink first?
Just show me this evidence.
My, aren't we in a hurry? Come on. One teeny tiny little drink.
I've just about had it with you.
Okay. Chill. Breathe. Breathe. It's just one of the rubies that fell off your knife when you were planting evidence in FERRARO'S car. You should have been a little more careful.
So should you, Miss Chase.
Really? Graduating to a gun?
Why not? Now, get that ruby.
Sydney! Sydney, look out!
What the... Oh!
Sydney, are you all right?
I thought you would never get here. Did you get him?
Yeah, I got him. I need to get the ambulance in here. Don't want him to die before the state gets its chance.
Alex, you okay?
Sydney,
Alex!
I believe that I have been shot.
Alex! No! Tony, get the ambulance here now!
On my way.
Sydney, as a doctor, I can tell you that there will not be any need for an ambulance.
No! Don't you die on me too!
I'm sorry, Sydney. I really
Alex? Alex! Alex! Alex, that is not the way it happened.
Well, it's the way that it should have happened, at least in my
You
book.
didn't die.
Look here, young lady, I took a bullet for you.
You came running out of the bedroom, saw the gun, and fainted right into me.
And I pushed you out of the way.
The bullet barely grazed you.
Well, they still had to rush me to the hospital.
'Cause you were screaming like a little girl.
I had to get stitches.
Stitch. Singular, as in
Well,
one lousy stitch.
I still saved your life.
Oh, Alexander McGoogle. Have I told you lately how much I love the dog poo out you?
Alan Simmons eventually confessed to the murders, and Baggins was pardoned by the governor. Ferraro never did thank Sydney for her help, and I have a suspicion that he never paid her for services rendered. As for Sydney Chase, well, I still play chess with her every Wednesday, and she is still waiting for her next big case.
And I will return shortly with a final word. As Gilbert K. Chesterton once wrote, the criminal is the creative artist. The detective is the critic. Sydney Chase continues to criticize the criminal every chance that she gets. Our cast included Crimson McKenzie, Winslow Swan, Dave Arkipov, and Ezra J D Emmans. The story was edited by Crimson McKenzie, and the entire production was under the direction of Winslow Swan.
So did you like the story today?
Yes, I did.
Well, why don't you hit that like button?
I think I will.
Would you like to hear more stories?
I sure would.
Then why don't you hit that subscribe button?
Can I share it to all my friends?
Would you please?
Oh, thank you.
And now, a preview of our next tale.
And you're telling me that this great treasure is buried right under my house?
My dear lady, I can guarantee it.
Why, that's wonderful.
Of course, it'll require a measure of work to get to it.
Of course, Mr. McGrath.
Naturally, you will receive the majority of the treasure. All that I would want would be a small portion for my efforts.
Oh, I'm sure that you will receive everything that is coming to you.
Doorway to Nightmare is brought to you in part by Swanage Press. This is your host, inviting you to return with us through the Doorway to Nightmare for another adventure into the world of your terrifying imagination. Until next time, slumber peacefully. Epilogue. The butler did it.